Just kidding. So, I guess Noir can join us today. I'm Cassandra Chandler, and I write books. I'm still relearning how to do YouTube videos with myself, but my puppets kind of told me that they were tired of carrying the weight of doing all of my videos, so they want me to do more. And that's fine. That's fine. Doing puppet videos is actually a lot harder than doing in-person videos because I have to do the voice modulation and edit them more. It's just harder. Like fun fact, every puppet voice is actually me. I've had my mom keeps thinking that Craig is voiced by my husband, but I'm like, nope, it's all me. It's all me, just different software doing stuff. But today, it's ironic that I'm holding Noir because today I'm going to talk to you about Perihelion, and Perihelion is from the Blades of Janus, or Janus. So the Blades of Janus, and I'm just going to call it Blades of Janus because things have come to light as I've been writing this trilogy that I'm going to call it Blades of Janus. The Blades of Janus started in 2016, I think. I was writing a lot of books for my trad publisher, and I had just started dabbling in publishing indie, and because I wanted to publish more stuff, and I thought, I'm writing, I have fans now, and they want me to write this, and they want me to write that, and then I've got Summer Park Psychics fans, I've got Homeworld fans, and I thought I want to write a story that I write entirely for myself, and I'm not thinking about readers. I always think about readers when I'm writing my other books, but when it came to the Blades, I was like, I'm going to make this as weird as I want. I'm not even going to think about whenever you write something, you're always thinking how am I going to market this? How am I going to reach readers with this? And with the Blades, I didn't think about any of that. So the story came, the original book one, when I wrote the first draft of book one, I was really getting serious about learning how to write. So this was this was 15 years ago at least, maybe 20. And I knew I had a lot of stories, so I knew I had to learn to write fast. And so I got the book in a month system, which actually you can see it over here. I love this. This is the one, that's the book that got me started writing really, really fast. Other people have tried it and it didn't work for them. It worked great for me. So, but anyway, so I wrote the first version of Pack in 1 month. It was 70-some thousand words, and it was crap. It was absolute crap. Because it was it was the 5th book that I'd ever written fully. Seriously, real books, I would say probably it was the 3rd or 4th full-length novel that had a beginning, a middle, and an end. And so in that sense, it was a full book. But that rough draft does not need to see the light of day ever again. And I trashed pretty much all of it and totally rewrote the book. The only thing that I kept was there was a trio of characters. Well, Dexter and Porter were there, so they made the cut. But the core trio, Marcus, Tessa, and Vaughn, they survived into the new rough draft, which is the pack that became the pack that we know today. When I wrote the original, so when I started to write the next draft, I had so many more ideas for it. I knew where we were going, and there is an antagonizing force. I'm not going to say much because spoilers, but there is an antagonizing force that I know very well. And when I started to write the new version, I was like, Vaughn needs to be female for this version to work, for this story to work. And I was just like, but my Jug, the IT guy. And for some reason, I just dug in and I wouldn't let it go. And so I just went ahead and wrote it. And my muse kept saying, you're going to regret this someday. Not as a threat, but as a prophecy. And she was right. So I wrote the first 2 books and published them, and then I started writing Vaughn's story. And I should have known, Vaughn gave me trouble from the very start. And the more I worked on it, the more, like, I got about, oh gosh, 2/3 of the way through. I got 50K into it, and it's an 80K book. So, when I started trying to finish it, just my muse was like, you know what comes next. You know what's coming next. And you know that when that happens, everybody is going to go, wait a minute, how does that work? If antagonizing force has certain characteristics and has done certain thing to... It's so hard to talk about this without spoiling. But at a certain point, you're going to go, why the hell is Vaughn a dude? And so I went back and I did second editions of Pack and Progenitor, and I made Vaughn female. And I still am finding pronouns that I miss, so I'm working on that. But I changed that, and then I went through and I fixed everything in Perihelion to make her a girl. And the weird thing is, I already had an actress in mind. Like, when I write books, I'll have a picture of an actor or an actress as a visual reference. And for Vaughn, I mean, originally I had a guy, but like the more things went, I was just like, this actor doesn't really fit with these other actors. And I was just like, I need Vaughn to be a girl. And it was like, boom, her. Okay. And so I should have known. So I fixed all of this stuff, and then I finished Vaughn's book in like a month, less than a month. It was like 3 weeks, 30,000 words in 3 weeks. Because I let myself listen to my muse, and now she's like, okay. And now when readers read through, they're going to understand. And when you finally do this big reveal, which I kind of alluded to in Perihelion, at the end of Perihelion, you might actually know what I'm talking about. If you read it carefully, you'll be like, oh, yeah. Scientifically speaking, it would be completely unbelievable for that to happen in any other way than this. So anyway, that is a bunch of rambling about Perihelion. I love this book, and I love these characters. And so if you want to get kind of like a weird view into my psyche, because these books are weird. They're also urban fantasy. So the rambling shall continue. Blades of Janus are very hard to define and hard to describe. They're very complex, and they have strong romance elements, but they are not romances. They are urban fantasy. And it took me forever to realize that. But once I did, I was like, okay, now that I know, it was kind of like, I thought that I hadn't been limiting myself in the series, but I actually had been. And once I decided that they were urban fantasy and realized that is what makes sense, Perihelion has some really grim stuff that happens in it. I am very hard on those characters. But even Pack, I had a beta reader read Pack, and she was like, yeah, I've never read a romance that had this kind of stuff in it. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, huh. So that was my first clue. And that was another case of not listening to my my instincts, which is always a problem. So anyway, I can't remember what I was talking about. See ya!